Hi, this is a quick one. You've heard in previous posts that I've been rejected by personal investigators and scriveners in finding my family registry. So I contacted one place that already told me that they won't help me find a registry because I don't get along with my parents. But I found an article written by my uncle before he died in the 1980s. And he, he his residence when he died was in the same city as my grandmother's. So I wanted to find his son, my cousin, um, and try to build back my identity. So I contacted him with information about him. I know where my cousin went to college and his father's name. My deceased uncle went to college and his parents' name and where they're from. And I was contacted back. I can't help you without their formal address. Now, I sent him back a screenshot where it says former addresses, where they're born, what city they're born, all these things can help add up to finding these people. He just, he never contacted me back. It's been a week. So this private investigator, he seems to help people find their lost families, but it's, I think he just has prejudices against people who don't get along with their parents. Mind you, my parents are, you know from my uploads, I'm just trying to be safe and his also I'm not the criminal, right? I made a life for myself. I was homeless at 15. I was independent at 16. I never became addicted to anything, which I think is a biological thing, right? Like my parents were addicted, and addiction is supposed to be a disability and a medical thing, not a discipline thing. So that's that. But I never became addicted to anything. I didn't break the law. I worked really hard, and I didn't give up or turn to crime or anything, even when my bosses would take my tips and not give me wages, even if I was bullied at after school centers where I was able to talk to the kids without like trying to be their best friend or scaring them. Um, I was bullied at places like that. No matter what happened to me, I didn't give in to escape and ruining mine and the people around me's life. So this guy, Goro Koyama, it says on his website that he was a martial arts powerhouse. Um, and he broke his elbow on both knees. I don't know about the powerhouse part, but he might be a bitter jock. I don't know. Um, My father couldn't become a boxer because of his short arms, and so he used to practice boxing on me when he was drunk, and he was in his 30s, and I was in elementary school age. Maybe he's just like that. I have no fucking idea. And I'm not putting this on my sister page where I call people out and name names and give numbers and emails to try to get these people to quit their jobs or for these nonprofits to fold or to have these people lose their licenses. I thought about it and I decided that he's helping people find their cheating spouse um, and other stuff. But just calling him out that he says that he does these services and has prejudice against people who are survivors of child sex trafficking and child torture. And this channel is more about the awareness of the long-term implications of um, giving a blind eye, like my teachers and school nurses did. Um, Anti-Asian hate, Asian on Japanese hate, and it seems like there's Japanese on Japanese hate too, as this. If you're if you're from a disadvantaged background, you're garbage, or if you're from if you're born into the wrong family, fuck you. Um, I didn't want that, so I did tell him like the my father's side of the family, they went to like the top level universities, and my father's brother was a top level researcher and scientist. Um, but I also make this channel. Like, if you have been sexually abused, trafficked, physically abused, tortured, held in captivity, it's not your fault. You're not a bad person, even if the world is trying to tell you so. They're really advantaged people, they're really privileged people who want to believe that they got to where they are through effort, and they must, I'm sure, most of them put in effort, but don't understand that people with disadvantaged backgrounds also put in effort, and to get anywhere put in a lot more effort than people with more advantaged backgrounds do. um so if you had a very harsh early life and people look down on you and act as if you've done something wrong, people, they cannot fathom that a person can still be alive and have gone through what they have. They might be slightly jealous, or not slightly, very jealous, but afraid to admit it. Um, they also, I'm used to oppressing people, even if they don't know it. It's the people who oppress people without knowing it, um, usually that want to continue oppressing people. And if you have been sexually abused, physically abused, and whatnot by your parents, don't keep quiet. Go anonymous if necessary, but don't keep quiet. Don't shrink down, because that's what they want us to do. They want us to shrink down, make ourselves small, continue believing that we're weak. But actually, to have survived all of this, you're very strong, extremely strong, and very wise. Um, I, I, again, I believe that I know how the problem of birth rate decrease in Japan, some of it can be solved. The homeless girls who are selling their bodies, I know, I have a good feeling how it can be fixed. I rewired my brain by studying dance and becoming a professional dancer, and I started at 17, and I had a good career. I didn't make a lot of money, and I didn't become famous, but that wasn't my goal. I believe that people can rewire their brains by dancing, because the physical discipline it takes to dance, plus the muscle and connective tissue movement that's necessary, um that that kept my body from breaking. My spine damages, I danced through my four cervical hernia, bulging discs, and my two lumbar bulging discs, and my deformity in my femoral head that goes into my torso. And the brain damage, I still have not had cognitive decline. Yes, I had vomiting and nausea and vertigo 2 years ago, but it might have been something else. And I don't have vertigo anymore. Um, and I don't have the nausea and migraines anymore. So that might be something else. But the doctors told me that it doesn't mean I'll get dementia. It doesn't mean I had a stroke. I'm still afraid of getting CTE because I've had thousands of head injuries, but that's in my older uploads. But I just wanted to go on and say there are to all the people who survived. You congratulate yourself and think of yourself when you were 6 or 7, who you wanted to be. And every time I ask, the child says that they wanted to end up like me, meaning honest, hardworking, and I haven't gotten crooked. Um, and if you're thinking of buying children because you're bored or you have the power now or to get back on a partner or spouse, these aren't harmless crimes. This isn't about um, your your individuality and having choices. These girls, including me 45 years ago, didn't have a choice and was beaten to a pulp every day to be complicit. And not just um, to entertain men, adult men, but do their housework, do their housework like in an abusive way, cleaning the bathtub with bleach powder, Comet or Ajax, and hot water without a sponge, without gloves, stuff like that. Um, and I did all the housework because they were always wasted, um, that kind of thing. So when you're buying children for sex, you're not helping a poor family, you're not helping the third world. Mind you, this happened in the United States, um, in New England and in Manhattan. But buying children doesn't help anyone, and it deeply harms a person long term. I'm in my 50s. My spine is injured, and my hip socket is injured, and there are no cures for it. Also, people say that mental abuse is worse than physical abuse. Physical abuse doesn't come without mental abuse. To continue to beat somebody up and making excuses for it, saying it's love, saying it's because they have no choice. That's mental abuse in itself. Um, you get punched once by your parent and they say sorry and they never do it again. That's different. That's episodic, but I'm talking about abuse. Um, there's no there's no physical abuse without mental abuse. I was able to stop hearing voices and seeing things, and the nightmares started to dwindle when I meditated 1 hour a day in 2006, the summer of 2006. I did it every day, 1 hour a day. Um, yes. And when school was out and I had time and I was poor, I did things like that. I still have hypervigilance. I still am diagnosed with CPTSD, but it doesn't get in the way of my day to day. So, mm, childhood torture has repercussions. Children are resilient, but um, damage is damage, and some damage doesn't go away, and some damage gets managed, and then it comes back in old age. Buying children, buying girls, does not help a poor family or a poor country. And victim blaming is, is is not conducive for the future. I need to leave the United States because of my physical injuries and the way the medical system is. And I also believe that whether I'm a English teacher in an English language school or working in a hotel, I can be an asset to Japan because I have been defending Japanese people all my life in the United States. I can't change my face. I didn't change my name. Um, so that's that. And yeah, that investigator, he should take these things off of his website or have a more ethical practice. Have a good day. Bye.